Happy Thursday. I'm Allegra Ramos, your resident self-care Ford, brain science based productivity and time management trainer. I know that's a lot. I'll unpack it for you, as we're talking. But if you're joining me for the first time, welcome. You can chat wherever you are watching this on whatever platform. I will see it. And if there's a question I can answer, I will be happy to answer it. And today's podcast, I have a special friend with me. We actually have a really long history together. Mark Decarlo.
Morning.
Corporate trainer most recently, but you might all know him as an actor and comedian. I know that I had certainly seen him before I knew him. Yes, seen him. I think it was that dating show you hosted. What was it
Uh,
called?
it was called Studs.
Yes.
I know it's just even at the time I thought it was a silly name, but it caught on.
It did
Um,
catch on.
yeah.
That's how I knew you was Studs, but you're probably most famous for your voice acting, right?
Yeah, I play Hugh Neutron on Jimmy Neutron. I also had a really fun travel show on the Travel Channel called Taste of America for 5 seasons, and I got to go all over the country and meet founders and restaurateurs and just regular people, and had a blast. People,
You're really good at talking to regular
America is
people.
yeah, because I'm actually interested in what people have to say, and I'm a good listener.
Okay, well, let's get to that in a little bit. We're going to talk more
What?
to Mark and all that. We're going to talk all about that later. One
Okay.
second. A couple business things that I like to do at the top of my show. I like to say, welcome to my listeners. This podcast is heard in over 90 countries, and I haven't been to all of the countries. And I'm always interested in, the changes that happen in the top 10 countries. And a country that recently broke into the top 10 of my listenership is Ukraine. Do you know any interesting facts about Ukraine, Mark
Uh,
DiCarlo?
I know that they're being pummeled by an unjust regime, and we should support them. I also know that you can, on the internet, meet a lot of beautiful, friendly Ukraine women. They seem like on
What
every
part of the
website, it's like date a
internet are
Ukrainian woman.
you in?
Oh,
Okay.
well, it's like all the ads, meet a Ukraine woman, and if I was them, I'd want to get out of Ukraine right now too.
True, true. Interesting fact, the Easter egg tradition originated in Ukraine.
Yes, the Easter Bunny is from Ukraine. That's why he has that accent.
You mean this accent?
Yes.
Let's see. There are also the song "O Sole Mio" was composed in Ukraine. I
No
don't know.
way. That's can't be. It's an Italian song.
Okay, maybe an Italian was on vacation. It only says that it was composed. It doesn't say it was composed by Ukrainian. We're gonna have to dig deeper. This list is
He
not
was
giving me the
he,
backstory.
he was on a train going back to Rome, and he
Right.
wrote it on the back of an envelope like the Gettysburg Address.
He was driving through Ukraine.
All right. Well, that's possible.
Okay. And let's see. Some famous Hollywood actors from Ukraine: Mila Jovovich,
Yes.
Mila Kunis,
Yes.
all the Milas, apparently. All the
Uh-huh.
Milas. Well, we're Ukraine. We are with you. We are thinking about you. I have a very, very dear friend of mine who's Ukrainian who actually helped to clean up Chernobyl. He also kind of looks like the Incredible Hulk. Coincidence? I'm not sure.
He's
Anyway,
he's got three eyeballs, so he misses nothing.
okay, the
He's
Hulk
everything.
does not have three eyeballs. Thank you very much. Okay, so my other thing that I always do at the top of my podcast is I like to pull a card from this little deck of positive chaos here. I never know what it's going to say. We'll see. Success in life should be determined by contributions, not accumulations.
That's exactly what I talk about. That is the
Really?
universe talking to us right now.
Yes, that's what this card is, a direct hotline to the universe. This deck of
Clearly.
cards. Okay, so I'm just going to read it one more time. Success in life should be determined by contributions, not accumulations. Arthur Lenihan. I don't know who Arthur Lenihan is, but thank you for that contribution, Arthur.
Arthur is a Ukrainian poet
who dyes Easter eggs and plays the Easter bunny.
and sings.
Okay, so tell me, How is that your whole, joie de vivre?
What else in there is there in life besides the pursuit of happiness, right?
Mhm.
If you're laying on your deathbed, you're not thinking of, oh, I got 12 cars and you're thinking of the people that you love and the things that you've accomplished in your life. Everything else is BS.
Mark, I swear you and I are just like twins that were born in separate wombs because
I know.
I have a saying that I say to my kid all the time. I say, at the end of life, you're not going to say, I wish I had put in another hour playing a video game or at the
Right,
office or whatever.
right, right. We in Italy, we go, my wife and I go there usually every summer, and their lifestyle there is different. People there uh, work so that they can live. In America, people live to work, and it's a different mentality, right? The pace of life is different in Europe. Here in America, I think some people get so wrapped up in accumulating prestige or power or money, um, that they lose sight of the point. I mean, who in their right mind would spend $400,000 on an automobile? The only reason you do that is to impress the opposite sex,
Someone else.
typically a younger woman.
The
And it's
opposite sex, I think it's the same sex they're trying to impress.
possibly, I mean, it makes
My
no sense
rocket
to
is
me.
bigger than your rocket.
Exactly. I would take that 400 grand and travel and meet strange people and go to different places. And what is more, our most precious resource is what?
Time.
Exactly. So every day that you
Followed closely
spend,
by water.
every day that you spend not purposefully focused on making yourself happy and those around you happy is a day that you've pissed away. And
Well, you
I've
don't have to
made,
tell me twice. I mean, look at my name. I didn't
yes,
even have any say in this.
right. It's and it people it's amazing to me that people don't innately know this. So that's a lot of what I talk about is you can reorient your life to focus on the accrual of happiness. And once you start doing that, you find your purpose. Maybe you go get a different job that makes you happier than the one that you're doing now. And maybe you make 10% less money, but you're spending 90% of your time being happy. And it's a simple adjustment. It's a simple thought, but it's difficult for people to really embrace for some reason, and I don't know why.
Did you ever have a time in your life when you weren't feeling happy and you had to recalibrate?
Yeah, I was a big fat ass in high school. I weighed 250 pounds when I was a freshman, and girls wouldn't talk to me. I wanted to play sports, and I was too fat to play. And I was on the first day of track practice. I got hit with a shot put. It broke my spleen. I was in the hospital for
What?
months. Yeah,
Oh
I
my
almost
gosh.
died. Oh, you don't know that story?
No.
I came within 10 minutes of dying. And then I wake
Oh
up
my
in the,
gosh.
yeah, I wake up in the ICU bed 3 days later, and the doctor sticks his head in and goes, oh, another 10 minutes, you would have been dead.
Oh my
So
gosh.
I'm, 14 years old, and I'm like, man, I could die. Literally, I could die tomorrow. And I'm a big fat ass and I'm miserable, and no girls will talk to me. And right then and there, I decided, all right, I'm going to lose 80 pounds by my birthday 6 months from now. And instead of what I had done before when I was dieting, being it really quiet, not telling everybody, I told everybody. I told my friends, my family, my friends at school, I'm gonna weigh 170 pounds by my birthday in June. And that created an instant support network. I couldn't run after school with the boys cross country team, but I had some female friends on the girls cross country team. And I said, can I work out with you guys? And they let me run with them. And I could sort of keep up with them at the beginning. And I ended up I lost 80 pounds by my birthday. So that instantly made me happier. And B, more importantly, I think taught me that anything I set my mind to, I can accomplish. If a regular human being can accomplish it, so can I. And I've carried that confidence through my whole life. And I'm every day, every decision I make is, will this decision make me happier? Well, having this third piece of pizza make me happier tomorrow when my clothes are tight, or making this decision to take this job instead of that job. Well, this is a lot of money, but boy, this job would be more fun. And I always choose the job that would be more fun. Oftentimes, less financially rewarding, but as you know, I've had a really fun, interesting, multifaceted life, and though that may not appeal to everyone who really craves consistency and security, I'm wired differently. So I kind of found my purpose really early in life by almost dying,
Right.
and um, had the positive feedback to realize it works, and
Well,
this
I mean, you learned
mindset
so many
works.
lessons
Yeah,
in that experience that some
right.
people never learn, right? Like if I put my mind to it, I can do it. Getting the support of other people by speaking it out loud.
That was the
They
breakthrough because
Yeah.
you don't become 250 pounds when you're 12 years old overnight. And I would try dieting, but I'd send away for a diet book and I would hide it in my bedroom so my parents wouldn't see it, my brothers wouldn't see it, and I was embarrassed that my pants would wear out in the crotch before any other pants because my thighs were rubbing together.
Mhm.
And when I woke up in the hospital that day, I'm like, all right, well, nothing you've tried so far has worked.
Right.
And another thing people need to learn is it's never a bad idea to try something and fail. Just don't feel shameful about it. If you're really
Right,
trying
move
hard,
on.
right, and you try it and it doesn't work, okay. Edison created 2,200 light bulbs before he got one to work. 2,200 failures. And he one of his quotes is, "It wasn't a failure. Each time it didn't work, I learned something."
Right.
And ultimately, he came up with something that literally changed the world. So you have to be fearless in your pursuit of happiness, and find what you personally are best at.
Well, and you can
And
even say that the times you failed, quote unquote,
uh,
you just figured out a way that didn't work. You're like,
right,
"Okay, well, I tried that, I tried that, I tried that. Let's do something I haven't tried."
right. And everybody's different, right? There are people that love fishing and boats. I hate boats. If people are afraid to fly, I love to fly. You've got to, especially
Try
when
your
you're
thing.
younger, yeah, try everything. And the information is as valuable when you find something that you hate as it is when you find something that you love. Because when you find something you hate, you cross it off your list, and that gives you more time to start focusing in on whatever it is you're going to end up doing, right?
Exactly.
Um, uh, Stevie Ray Vaughan is one of my favorite musicians. He died in a helicopter crash in 1990. But his life, there was nothing else on earth that he was designed to do except play music. It was like he was a channel, and the music would come through him.
Mm,
If he had gone and worked at Wendy's or something, he would have been miserable,
mm.
but he'd
Or
still
he
be
would have
alive.
been that guy singing as he
Right,
flipped your burgers.
right. So I think a lot of people don't even realize that they have the keys to their own life and that they can go out and try stuff. I talk to students, I talk to high, college and high school kids. You have your whole life in front of you. Go out and fail. Go out and do stuff that you're like, ugh, never doing that again. And then, it's numbers. You'll eventually figure out something that you really dig. I started being in plays, and I would go see Second City Theater in Chicago where I grew up. And when I found out that those people were making up stuff and getting paid for it, like, well, I want to do that.
So, you and I both are in the comedy world. I like stand up. You're more of an improv guy.
You know,
Maybe, for people who don't know the difference, do you wanna explain the difference?
improvisation is a technique that was designed and perfected by Viola Spolin and people at the Second City Theater in Chicago. And it's basically, you go on stage, you take a suggestion from people in the audience, and you build a scene without a script. And what that forces you to do is to listen to the other people on stage and react. You and I are improvising right now. But sometimes when you say the word improvisation in a business setting, people get nervous and oh, I can't do that. I can't. It's like, you do it every day.
Right.
And that's one of the big
That's
hurdles to getting people to improvise is the fear of failure. You know, you pulled that chaos card a little while ago.
mhm,
Embrace chaos, because in chaos it forces you to think of a plan B.
mhm.
You know, Edison embraced chaos 2,200 times. He thought he had a working light bulb. It didn't work. Now he could have quit, but he didn't. He kept going. And in chaos, chaos creates opportunity for people that are confident and focused on accomplishing what they want. And improv is functional chaos, and it just that's how my brain works. I mean, I've done some stand up. I'm not good at it because it's just not my thing. You are good at it because you write your jokes and you practice them and you hone them. Um, I've just never been good at that. So
Well, I
I've
think the
realized
thing
that.
go ahead.
No, I've realized that. So I don't do that. I found out
Right.
something that I'm better at, and I do that.
Well, I think the thing that's interesting too about improv that lay people don't know is that in improv, you do have parameters. It's
Hmm.
not just start talking, right? Like what
No,
happens is you'll say to the audience, give me an emotion, love, give me a relationship, a goddaughter and their godchild, give me a place, a museum. So you have these parameters and you never know what they're going to spark in your head. And that's what's so interesting is that it helps you to delve parts of your brain that you wouldn't have gotten to without those prompts. And those prompts are kind of like this little chaos card,
they're
right?
exactly like that. Yeah.
Where, oh, okay, now I'm thinking about museums like that time when I was at, the Louvre or whatever. Um, and I just think that's so interesting the things you examine about yourself internally as you're doing improv or answering a card like this, or I'm looking at a neurographic drawing I have, which neurographic drawing is kind of like improvisation but drawing, because I'm not a graphic artist, but I like to sometimes make something. And so I discovered neurographic drawing, which is really, hold on, I'm just going to pull it down so you can see it, um, which is really fun. It's
Can I put that on my fridge?
no, it's mine. You have to make your own. I'll come
Yes.
out.
And what you're doing is you're channeling the raw materials out of your brain and then making sense of it. And the difference between improvising in a entertainment setting on stage, or I've been on Curb Your Enthusiasm and Tracy Ullman show, where it's for entertainment. You're improvising as somebody else. So in this scene, I'm a plastic surgeon, and in theory, that means you're going to think not like Mark, but like a plastic surgeon would think. In
Mhm,
business, when we ask you to improvise and create something new, you're thinking as yourself. So it's really easier. You're just
mhm,
you. I think it's a function of bandwidth. When people are narrowly focused on a job or a topic, they're missing all the good ideas that may happen out in the margins, right? So by freeing people and teaching them methods of improvisation, you're opening up the bandwidth where some crazy idea from somebody in the back of the room might spark you to think of something else, sparks me to think, and eventually different dots connect than if everybody was focused on, we're going to make a new lawnmower. We're going to make the world's greatest lawnmower. And what if someone goes, oh, you know what? Why don't we invite a grass seed that only grows that much and never grows again? Totally different approach to
uh-huh,
the same problem. And if
mhm.
that approach works, you don't need a lawnmower. You sell the seeds.
So, can you give me an example from a corporate training where you've helped them improv their way to a solution they hadn't thought of?
Yeah, I work with sales teams all the time,
Mhm,
and they're under constant pressure to sell more and push their products and things. And oftentimes the products are so similar to what everybody else is offering, it's difficult to find a reason to buy my thing instead of your thing.
mhm,
So I back up one step. Like, let's make your product, let's differentiate it more. And then I get into the weeds with what exactly is your product? What are the goals? Like we just did with the lawnmower example,
mhm,
right?
mhm,
What is the ultimate goal? Not the intermediate. What are you, what are you selling, right? The Catholic Church sells eternal life if you just give us money and be good. Um, whatever it is that you're selling has value to your clients. You have to figure out a way to make yourself stick out from all the other people that are trying to sell their stuff. So the first exercise I do is let's find other things that you can offer, other ways to offer what you do. And if you're talking to people that are in the sales department, they're the ones talking to customers all day long, all week long, all year long. They're hearing things that if you don't take into the machine and process, you're wasting that intelligence, that
Mm,
information. So
right.
you take it all in, you spin it up, and you do it within the confines of a team where everybody has everybody's back and you can say the stupidest stuff you want to say and no one's going to mock you for it. Um,
Safe
an
space, so important.
example I use is uh, Kramer on Seinfeld.
Mm.
He was not the most grounded. He was not the most intelligent. He was not the most normal person in that friend group. But he would come up because his thinking was unfettered by reality. He would often come up with really crazy, great ideas, like the coffee table book in the shape of a coffee table. It's a great idea. I mean, it's silly and it's funny within the context of entertainment, but it is an example of thinking outside the box and approaching the same old problem from a different angle. And that's
Right.
really by teaching improvisation in a corporate setting, that's what you're teaching your team to do. And the better they get at it, the better their teams are going to be, the more efficient they're going to be, the more profitable they're going to be. And most importantly, the happier the employees will be at work and at home. And all the data, as you know, shows that when people are happy, their brains are working 30% more efficiently. The retention is higher. The quiet quit rate goes down. They stay with your company longer, which means their institutional knowledge stays within your company longer. They are more valuable to the overall
Right.
endeavor of whatever the enterprise is doing. So it's win-win, and it's it's a more fun way to work.
Yeah, it's just more fun. Exactly. People underestimate how employees will stick around for a fun environment that
Right?
feels like it cares about them as people. Why is that revolutionary? It's so bizarre.
Because until now you couldn't quantify it, right? The
Mm,
thinking in the C-suite was, why am I going to spend money making my people happier? I'm paying them to work. Just shut up and work. And if that is your attitude towards your employees aren't stupid. They know you don't give a shit about them, and you're just squeezing them until they're empty, and then you kick them to the curb.
but there's
Find me.
always been companies that have done it differently, and
That's what
they're
I was going to
always
say.
success stories, and it's like,
Talk to
"Hello?"
Yeah, talk to someone that works at Trader Joe's. Talk to someone that works at Costco. All of those people love their jobs and they stay there forever. I don't know that there's Trader Joe's all over the world, but I know there's lots of Costco's. And I have friends that have Phi Beta Kappa degrees who have worked at Costco stocking shelves and registers and in management 20, 30 years, and they're still there because the company realizes their value and rewards them and treats them like they're valuable.
Right. Yeah.
Everyone wants to feel appreciated. And if your company demonstrates that to you, why would you leave? If you're happy and productive and doing stuff you love and hanging out with people that you like at work, you know,
Yeah.
what more do you need?
So earlier when we were speaking, you held up your smoothie. Where's your
Hmm.
smoothie?
I finished it.
Oh, okay. I'm all about self-care first because you can't be productive if you're not taking care of yourself. That's just
Correct.
baseline. So what was in your smoothie?
It's protein powder, a little bit of creatine, some collagen, some seeds, and some hemp seeds.
What are the other seeds besides the hemp seeds?
They're from India. I don't know. Yenny puts them in there. I'm not really sure what they are.
Okay, it's not chia.
Probably it is.
We have like the same smoothie. So
But
I mean,
mine isn't
except
green. Mine was
well,
brown.
Yes, so I had everything you have plus flax seeds.
Oh, that's what it is. They're flax seeds.
Okay, flax seeds. I do have chia seeds in here, and then of course I have kale and cilantro that I mix up. Then I also have moringa powder. Have you heard of moringa?
No, it
Okay.
sounds like a thing that you'd play in a band.
Not marimba.
Oh, different. Okay.
Yes, yes. And so what are some other self-care practices that you engage in?
I used to have a really bad back, and then I started doing Pilates, and I do Pilates 3 times a week. It's the greatest exercise I've ever done. And I play ice hockey 3 times a week.
And you've been
And
doing that your whole life, the
yeah,
ice hockey, right?
yes, since I got on a celebrity team when I was doing studs, 25 years ago, and we
Oh, I
would
thought you were doing it when you were in Chicago.
I was never in organized hockey, no. And we would go around and we would play charity games to raise money for kids charities. And because I was a cartoon guy, they wanted me on the team. And it's the fastest, most exciting sport to watch. It's great to play. It's a total team effort. Don't even say that. If you've never been
I'm
to a
I'm
hockey
glad
game,
I'm glad you like it. But
you
when you're
have you
saying
ever
it's too
been have
yes,
you ever
I've
been to a
been.
hockey game and you
Yes.
don't like it?
No. No.
Well,
I
you're
don't like
wrong, but
watching
whatever.
sports at all.
But okay, well, from the player's perspective, it'll it allows me. You can't think of anything else
Right.
because it happens so fast and there's so much going on. You have to
Yeah.
totally focus on that, and it's like a meditation,
Right.
right? An
Yeah.
hour and a half goes by in 5 minutes,
Well, you're in
seemingly to me,
flow.
completely, completely in flow,
Mhm.
and um,
And flow is one of the brain science characteristics of flow is that you're operating at the edge of your ability.
yeah,
Therefore, you can't think. You just
correct.
have to react.
And I'm able to do that. Like if I'm going to sit down and write a script or write something, I can get into that same mind frame just because
Mhm.
I've been, intentionally practicing it
Right.
and doing. And it's exhausting if you're doing it right. But there are techniques that I teach and that you can learn to be more creative and turn it on and off like a
Absolutely.
switch.
Yeah,
Um,
it's just a practice that you get into that
right.
and I completely contribute flow to why I am able to produce so much content because for me, words are my entryway to flow. The minute I'm working with words, whether it's a joke or a book or whatever, I get engaged and it's just like the minutes roll by, the hours roll by and I have to remind myself, I have to set alarms to get up. Otherwise, I'll just keep sitting here because I get so engaged.
Yeah,
But
well, it changes the brainwave pattern in your brain. It elevates the vibration to a more I don't know if they're delta waves or beta waves, whatever they are, but it's different than your
I
normal.
think it's theta, you're getting closer to theta waves in
It,
flow. Let me
but you
see.
can feel it
Yeah,
once you learn how to manipulate it and put yourself in that creative space, you feel it. And some days I sit down to work or write and just not feeling it today. So I'll go out and walk the dog or walk around or go out, come out here and sit and do self-care in that way where it's like, all right, if I have to be funny today for something I'm doing tomorrow, I got to get in the right frame of mind now. So job one is doing whatever it takes to make myself happy and comfy. And it may seem to the outside observer indulgent or silly, but it's like stretching before you play a sport. You got to get into that mojo. And then once I'm in the mojo, everything feels effortless. I know if I'm
yes,
writing something and it's drudgery,
yeah,
the end product is going to be crap.
right,
But if I'm just if
going,
it's yeah, and then I go back and look at it, I'm like, oh, that didn't even come from me. That came through me, and it's good.
right,
And then
yeah,
you polish it with your conscious mind. But um, it's a really it's a really cool uh, thing to be able to get in and out of, and that it's also a form of improvisation. It's not fearing the failure of uh,
just
kicking out a bad
creating,
idea. Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
Well, so final thought as we're wrapping up, we're coming up on the 30-minute mark, but I think one of the most interesting things about working in a flow state is that You can be working for 3, 4, 5 hours in flow state, but flow is energy producing. So you don't feel tired. You feel elevated and ecstatic and pumped versus drudging away on something for that same amount of time, which is
Right.
energy sucking.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's it. It feeds everything. It feeds your brain. It feeds your body. It makes you feel good.
Mhm.
And and that's what I'm talking about chasing happiness and prioritizing
Mhm.
wellness and happiness. If you could do that every day, your life will be more enjoyable. And when you're
Absolutely.
laying on your deathbed at the end of your life, those are the things that you're going to value and remember. Not that, oh, I had two Mercedes Benzes. Woo, cool me. It's
Right.
how happy am I on a day to day basis? And if you feel that you're not as happy as you want to be, you can change it. Because
Yeah.
if your life
Pay
is
attention
shit,
to that.
yes, if your life is shit today, it's your fault. And because it is your fault, you have the power. You had the power to make it bad. You have the power to make it good. And
Right.
that's the first thing. You have to believe that because it's true. And once you
Yeah.
realize you have that power, then it changes. It
Right.
sounds very simplistic, but I mean it works.
Well, and I like to say, hey, don't dwell on regret. Instead, think of it like a blinking light sending you a warning signal like, hey, you're off course. Get back on course.
Right?
Pay attention.
2,200 failures Edison had.
Right. Thank you so much for joining me, Mark DeCarlo. And thank you to my listeners. Be sure to like and subscribe wherever you listen. And remember, planning makes everything easier. Thanks.
Thanks, Allegra. Bye.